Hey everyone, this week I've just got 5 fragrances I love so much I can't stop wearing, and I just want to share them with you. Stay tuned. Before I begin, I want to mention after the video, if you care about this sort of thing, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping, talking about the channel. So if that's something you care about, that'll be at the end of the video. If not, don't watch it. So first up, I've got 5 fragrances with me that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to determine the order as I'm talking to you. I think I'm going to finish with that one. So let's start out with, I'll throw the curveball midway through. Okay, let's talk about the first one of these, which is Spice Bomb Night Vision EDT. Now, I have smelled the EDP, and I think it smells great. And I would own a bottle of it if it weren't redundant. I feel like if you own this, you don't need the EDP. I'm not sure if you had to pick one, maybe the EDP, I'm not sure, but I have this one and I love it. And like, it was one of those things, I've had this since last Christmas because Nordstrom had, by the way, Nordstrom Rack, after Christmas, they usually have holiday sets of fragrances for pretty good discounts, so check them out. I got this through that and came with like a little travel atomizer too. I gave that to a friend. And I wore it a little bit in the spring, but not that much. And then I kind of just sat on it. And I started wearing it recently, and boy, I love this one so much. I know it got kind of crapped on by the community, but the fresh, green, spicy fragrance, like in the line, I've smelled the other ones and they all, I think, are great in different aspects. But this one to me really stands out as the one that like I want to grab for the most because it just smells so interesting. Like it's really fresh, but really spicy. There's some woods under it. I just love this one. This is like, it also lasts a really long time. Like this is a full day. If you wear this, to me, it lasts all day. I'll smell it actually the next day. I can still get little wafts of it. So this is a monster of a performer in my opinion, in my experience. Highly recommend it. You probably get it for a good discount at this point too, since the other ones are out. I say check it out. All right. Next up is probably one of my favorite bed scents, and that is Mercedes-Benz Club Black. This is one everyone knows about, obviously. Vanilla. It's a spicy, smoky vanilla, and it smells amazing. It is exactly that. Like, if you're gonna have one vanilla fragrance, this is probably near the top of the list because it just smells so good. It's sweet. It's a little bit like caramelized vanilla. There's a little bit of caramelized sugar in there. Maybe even a little bit of a boozy aspect to it. It smells absolutely amazing. This is probably my second or third favorite bed scent right now. And I have a curveball for one of the other ones on here, which is my favorite bed scent right now. But this one, I will wear this when I go to bed. I'll also just wear this in the day. It's a nice warm scent. If you don't have it, I recommend it. I think this is better than a lot of other really popular vanilla fragrances out there that I've smelled. Probably do a vanilla series at some point, talk about that, but this is an absolutely outstanding fragrance and it's not that expensive and it's better than a lot of niche fragrances. So if you haven't smelled Mercedes-Benz Club Black, it's so much better than it has any right to be and you should get a bottle. It's good. Here is the curveball that was promised. I love this one so much. That is Ariana Grande's Sweet Like Candy. Whew, boy, this stuff, man. I feel like the name, they pretty much nailed the name with Sweet Like Candy. It is exactly that, but it somehow, I think, avoids being cloying. It's soft. There's a fruity floral element to it, but it is this very sweet candy-like fragrance that somehow I think skirts this line and manages to be this really wearable fragrance without smelling like you just fell into a vat at Willy Wonka's factory. This is like a beautiful set. Beautiful, beautiful set. This is absolutely my favorite bed scent because it's just one of those things that it envelops you in its soft sweetness. You just go to sleep. I love this smell so much. If you haven't, I got this for like 20 bucks from like Ross. You find these at rack stores. You can get them cheap, I think, from discounters. I recommend it, even if you're a dude and you think I'm a man, I can't wear Ariana Grande. You might find that you really like it as a bed scent. It's really, really beautiful. Check it out. Coming up on number 2 which is popular, but in my opinion, not popular enough. If you have not picked up Tona Cola from Mancera, you should. I've talked about this before on this channel. I'm going to talk about it again because I think it's so much fun, and this is the kind of stuff that frankly I love to see in perfumery. This is a fun fragrance. You know, there are so many like fragrances that we think of as workhorses. You know, you got your office scent, and you have a date night scent, and you have a wedding scent, you know, all these other things. But this is like, I want to have fun. This is like someone said, here's a cherry Coke, turn this into a fragrance, elegant smelling. And that's what this is. You have all of the aspects. When you think about goes into a Coca-Cola, it's like you got citruses, you have these spices. They're all the things that go perfectly for fragrance. So the idea of turning it into a fragrance, you have this cherry cola fragrance. It's beautiful. And to me, it smells just like that. I get the cola strong from it. It's like, reminds me of gummy Coke bottles, which is my favorite candy. I'm a sucker for anything cola, so I will probably always buy that. So you should weigh that. I weigh this heavily because I love Coke and I love cola flavored things. This is amazing smelling, and I cannot recommend it enough. If you haven't already, you should pick up a bottle. It smells so good. I like to wear this, this especially, I like to wear to like the theater. I feel like it's a really fun fragrance for the theater, but I also just like to wear this if I'm going out and hang out with friends or something like that, and it's just kind of a casual evening, something. It's just fun. I think this will also be great in the winter for like holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, things like that. It's got this perfect balance of spices and sweetness that goes along with all of those desserts that you get. So highly recommend it. Check it out. Okay, last up is a fragrance I have not talked about on this channel, mainly because I was saving it. I wanted to talk about it in a larger discussion about the house generally, but I'm gonna spoil it and just talk about it right now, and that's Pasha de Cartier Parfum. And this came out, I think, in 2018. Boy, I got this, I think I got this like about a month ago. And this is like such an insanely addictive fragrance. I've been trying to figure out like what it is in here, because I think there's a couple of key notes in this that like I'm latching onto, that I'm really attracted to, but I can't really figure out what they are. So I'm gonna look them up real quick. Man, this is such an amazing scent. I really like, this is one of those ones where you see everyone gushing about it and you're like, is it that good? And you smell it and you're like, I can't stop. You know what it is? It's kind of got this bay rum aspect to it. This like old spicy sort of like, that's the thing, I'm having a hard time putting on it. So this thing says the contemporary fougere composition with woody and ambery features includes notes of patchouli, sandalwood, fir balsam, labdanum, benzoin, ambroside molecule, and tonka bean. So I'm gonna guess, I think the thing that I'm latching onto are three things. I think it's the patchouli, labdanum, and benzoin. I don't know if I could pick any of that individually, but I feel like there's this kind of like sweet, ambery, spicy, woody element that maybe benzoin. I'm still learning all this stuff, so if you know, please tell me, because like I want more fragrances that are doing this kind of thing. Like this is, there's also like a little note of cumin in there, and if you know anything about me, I've been kind of like obsessed and I think that's such an interesting note in fragrances recently. So this fragrance is like the all, in my opinion. I think this is like an extremely versatile, you can use this in a lot of different situations. This would be good for fancy events. This is good for date nights. This would be a good office scent. I mean, it smells classy. It smells classy. It's not challenging. This is gonna be, it's mass appealing in the best way possible. It's mass appealing without being boring. And it's just such a beautiful, beautiful scent. This like woody, ambery, sweet, spicy, bay rum sort of thing going on. And I can't get enough of it. It's one of the things that really got me going crazy on the house. I have Declaration, I'll talk about that at some point. I like that a lot, but smelling this really like blew my mind for Cartier, and kind of like brought me back on board with like designer fragrances. I was getting pretty tapped out on them until I smelled this. And it's just so alluring and addictive. It lasts a really long time too. Like this is one of those ones where like you just get wafts of it. I don't get nose blind to this, so I smell it for hours and hours, and every time I get a whiff, it's a joy. It never gets old to me. This is not one of those ones I ever feel the need to scrub off. I never need to take a shower to get away from it. This is a fragrance that embraces you and you embrace it right back. It smells so pickin' good. You should get this one. If not, just go to Nordstrom's. They have it there. You can smell it. I think you'll like it a lot. There's a reason why this is like universally hyped. It deserves it. Cartier does some really interesting stuff, and they have been doing really interesting stuff for a long time. So I'm gonna continue to discover the house more, but I will say this right now is kind of my current obsession that I can't stop. It just smells so good. You just want all of the smell all the time. So anyway, those are the 5 fragrances currently that when I'm looking at my collection, I just keep grabbing them because I can't stop. They're too addictive. They smell too good. I want them. So I say check those out if you haven't already. You can get samples of most of those pretty easily. I would say definitely go smell the Cartier. And if you can, get a hold of a bottle of Sweet Like Candy from Ariana Grande. I'll say it again, her fragrances, like uniformly, I've never smelled a bad one from that house, and they play this really interesting role that I love. So I say check it out, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Okay, so a little bit of housekeeping. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to record this week, and I was thinking about last week's video, and it was a little bit more negative than I wanted it to be. Not like it was a really negative video, because I really do think they're like not bad fragrances. They just don't excite me in the way that like Pasha de Cartier does, or any of these, frankly. That's kind of why I did this. I was like, those ones don't inspire me. I want to do a video about fragrances that do inspire me. But that being said, I still think there's a pretty good place for it. I think the reason I wanted to do that video originally on the Latafa Bade El Oud series is because I feel like all of the stuff I've seen from everyone else has been universally positive, and that's great. Maybe it's genuine. I have no reason to not believe that it's genuine, their love of it. But for me, I found it to be a little bit more middling. So there's an aspect where I felt like, well, if I'm making these videos and something needs to have a wet blanket thrown on it a little bit, just because like I think that was the problem with those fragrances, is I would probably like them more had they not been hyped up so much. Whoops, light just went out. So I think if they had not been hyped up as much, I probably would appreciate them more, but I went in expecting more than the juice had. Why am I bringing that up here? Because I want to make more videos where I'm talking critically about fragrances, but it's also not super duper fun for me. I'm not in the hobby here to tear down companies and fragrances I don't like. I would much rather just focus my energy on things that I do like. So that's what I try and do. I've got discovery sets, you know, because I don't want to buy fragrances I don't like. I'm not getting sent this stuff for free. I'm buying this with my own money. So I want to make it count. I don't want to buy duds. I want to buy interesting, fun fragrances. And I think there's a place for fragrances like last week's. I think it's good, but really in the end, I think there's more discovery out there on the positive side of things that you can focus on than tearing down popular things, or just, you know, trying to get clicks with negative views, which I don't think that's what I was doing last week, and that's not my intention. But I just want to say that if you care at all about this channel, if you have recommendations for me to that effect, please do let me know. And I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.